Hello. It's the beginning of April. March is over. And I read some books. So I figured I would talk about it while I'm doing my skincare. And just like let someone know what I read this month. March was a pretty mediocre month for me reading wise. I had one star book. I had a couple 4-star books, some 3-star books. I also had my first DNF in like 10 years, which is very disappointing. I was really excited about that book, but we will get to her. Anyways, I think I'm just gonna do it in chronological order. Unfortunately, I went into March with a complete dud, and that was Love is a Dog from Hell by Charles Bukowski, I think is how you pronounce his name. I really have no respect for this man. I keep seeing everywhere that like you have to like get his writing, and he's just so smart and methodical and like analytical. I don't know. He's just such a good writer. I think he's just misogynistic and a man. This is a book, when I go home, I'm going to make an unhaul video just to get rid of that book. I did not like it. And I got through it very quickly because it was only 300 pages and it was poetry. And in my opinion, horrible poetry. Like, it's just 300 pages of him talking about sex, treating women horribly. There's even a poem where he's like watching girls, like children, in the school playground. I was not a fan. I was not a fan. This is like the male psyche. I'm not a fan. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to be a part of it. Keep it away from me, because I immediately wanted to like burn my retinas. So I don't really want to be told that I just didn't get it. I don't understand his writing, whatever. I don't want to understand it. It was gross. I didn't like it. So I'm going to be throwing it, I don't know, maybe in a garbage can, because I don't really want to donate it or send it away to be sold to some other poor soul. I really just did not like it, but whatever. Really upset that I bought this new and wasted probably like 20 bucks on just the most misogynistic thing I've read in a long time. So yeah, that's my opinion on Love is a Dog from Hell.
I want to give you a 0, but that's not possible. So I give you a 1.
My next book is kind of a cheat, but I did read Jujutsu Kaisen a lot this month. I read the 3rd one, was my first Jujutsu Kaisen in March. And I mean, yeah, it's wonderful. It's great. It's about this kid. If you've never heard of Jujutsu Kaisen, it's only one of the most popular animes right now. But if you've never heard of her, it's about this school of sorcerers going to like exercise some curses, and they run into this problem when this random high school kid eats a cursed finger and suddenly has a curse inside of him, like a horribly powerful, I don't know if he's technically demon curse, old sorcerer gone bad, whatever, but he's basically possessed this high schooler, and so the high schooler becomes a sorcerer too. And yeah, I read the 3rd one. It's kind of where Itadori is getting more acclimated to the school. I think this is the one, I guess I won't do spoilers, although it's only like the 3rd manga collection, but gets more acclimated to the setting, more acclimated to his style of fighting, I guess. And yeah, I really enjoyed the characters. It's got female characters that don't make me want to kill myself. I don't think this is the hottest take in the world, but anime and manga do not have good female characters a lot of times. But most females written by a man are not that great. But yeah, anyways, I recommend Jujutsu Kaisen. I think it's getting me, I'm sure I'm so late to the train on Jujutsu Kaisen. I did watch the first season when it initially came out. I was like, oh, that was really cool. And then I never touched it again for like 5 years. So reading the manga is kind of like reintroducing me to the material. And I mean, if you haven't watched it, read it, anything like that, I definitely recommend. It kind of is on the same wavelength as like Attack on Titan to me, which Attack on Titan is one of my favorite animes. It's just very dark and I like it. Very cool. Well, I wouldn't say Attack on Titan has necessarily a magic system, but a very cool like power system, magic system intertwined in the story. My mouthpiece is like drying up and I look crazy, but anything for the skin, you know? My next read was one of my favorite authors, Terry Pratchett. I finished up Soul Music in March, and it was definitely like middle of the road. I feel like this is gonna be so horrible to say. It was definitely middle of the road Discworld for me. I did like it better than Equal Rights, which I really didn't enjoy that much. I didn't think it was all that funny. I got a couple of chuckles out of Soul Music. It was an interesting topic of rock music being introduced to this fantastical, magical world, but I thought it could have been funnier. Which, don't get me wrong, that's a very rare thing to say about a Terry Pratchett book, and especially one that's in his Death subseries. But good lord. This was Post Reaper Man, which I feel like was just pinnacle Discworld and Death subseries. Soul Music just didn't, it kind of missed the mark for me. It didn't really hit the way I wanted it to. I am upset about it, but it was still something that I am glad I read. It is not something I'm going to ever take off of my shelf out of utter horror and disgust. It was nowhere near a 1 star. It was nowhere near a 2 star. It was just middle of the road for me. I mean, obviously it followed like the path of typical rock star stories, documentaries about typical rock star life, but it also just didn't have a whole lot of death, the character death in the book, and I just feel like that is crucial for a Death subseries storyline, plotline. It very much focused on characters that at least I don't know. I don't know if they come up in any other stories yet, but I just wasn't nearly as attached to them as I was with Death. And he only gets like maybe 20-30 pages of character development, time with Death sort of thing, which I mean the entire time he's missing. He's supposed to be missing. They can't find him, which like fine, that's fine. But I was expecting him to get into rock music and like start a band or something, like really get into it, but he didn't. So I think it was my own expectations that really like I let myself down because of my own expectations, which is, it's my fault. It's 100% on me. I was just a little bit disappointed in it. Again, if you're into Discworld at all, if you're getting into Discworld, if you're interested in Discworld, it's not a skip. I don't think there's any skips so far. It's just, again, it's not the best of the best. Cream of the crop. It's not the most amazing thing you will ever read in your entire life in Discworld entries. So, for that reason, I gave it a 3.
Lifestyles are probably comparable. I simply am not there.
Spa complete. I'll just bundle these next 2 up. I read back-to-back Jujutsu Kaisen again. I read the 4th and 5th collection installment, whatever you want to call it. And again, no dip in quality. I think I've rated so far all of Jujutsu Kaisen 4 stars, which is the highest manga is ever going to get from me, because something in my mind just doesn't want to put comic books, manga with literature. Just so pretentious of me to say. I understand. I completely understand. It is so pretentious of me to say. But I want to have some sort of separation between the just completely words books and separate them from the pictures and words books. So the highest rating for manga for me is 4-star. It's my little messed up system in my head, so you know. Very good manga. Very, I think, like peak storytelling in manga. I'm excited to see how the story continues. I think I'm pretty much where I was at, which is very sad. I'm pretty much where I was at when I stopped watching the anime now. So the rest of this is going to be a complete surprise to me because I still haven't finished watching the anime and I really need to get on rewatching it and starting it again. Maybe while I'm finishing up the manga, which I only have 1 through 5 and I technically also have 0, which I think we do get back to her eventually. But I only have 1 through 5 physically. I want to be able to get the rest of the series because it is just a really, really good series that I would like to have on my, I call it my manga heaven. It's just like a floating shelf my dad made in my bedroom and I just dedicate it to all of my manga and it's just like close to the ceiling, close to heaven. Yeah, those 2 were also 4 stars. Again, really excited to see where the journey leads. Next one I read was also another manga. This was My Hero Academia 19. This one was, they literally just made they were going to a school festival and basically all of the classes make their own game and make their own contest, different like activities, things like that, and our class makes a rock band. It's kind of fun. I do really like My Hero Academia. I was a really big fan of it when it was at its height in like 2018, 2020. I've always really liked it, but I don't know, it just doesn't scratch the same itch that I have when I'm watching Attack on Titan or Jujutsu Kaisen, reading or watching. I think it's cute. It's good. It's got a really good story. It just can be kind of corny, cheesy to me sometimes, but I do love the characters. I love their dynamics. It's another middle of the road for me, but on the higher end of the middle of the road, it is the 3 stars manga, which is seen in my eyes as very, very good. Now my next book, this was The Shadow Rising by Robert Jordan, and I think this one I also gave 3 stars. It's just another middle of the road. And Robert Jordan, it's a very interesting magic system, very interesting storyline. It can be kind of basic fantasy. I mean, it's got the chosen one trope. It's very typical, like, he's a farmer boy and he's never left home, going and leaving on a journey that'll change his life. So it's very basic, but it's also very, very dense, very thick. I think Robert Jordan like literally said that he wanted his complete series to fit in a wheelbarrow, or like you had to lug it around in a wheelbarrow if you wanted to carry all of them. So like, good for him, my man, good for him. But it can be a little challenging to get through sometimes, so there are definitely some like things that I'm like, oh, I don't know if I comprehended that correctly, but I'm kind of rolling with it. So I do kind of have to watch explanation videos along the way with it, which is kind of low-key embarrassing, but hey, sometimes we just need that Cliff Notes version of things, and Robert Jordan can sometimes be that for me. And his writing style can definitely be a little wordy. Prose are very flowery, very typical old school fantasy. Like very inspired by Lord of the Rings, which, don't get me wrong, Lord of the Rings is like 4 stars for me, 100%. I love Lord of the Rings. But Robert Jordan just misses the mark slightly under Lord of the Rings, which I'm still enjoying. The Wheel of Time series, I'm going to continue it. I have Fires of Heaven on my TBR eventually. I don't have the physical copy, but I do have it on my e-reader, and I'll probably get the audiobook too, because it helps assist in my reading journey, because I do want to finish this series. I do want to finish the series, and somewhat in a timely manner. I don't want to have to spend 14 years reading 1 book a year, because that would kind of be awful. How? Don't judge me. Don't judge me when I tell you. I definitely started reading this series because I really liked the Juniper version of the paperbacks. So I really want to get into this series and justify that purchase. That will be made one day. Oopsies, I just lied. I gave it a 3.75, which it's higher than a 3, obviously, closer to a 4, but you know, it just ever so slightly missed that mark for me. I actually, so far, really enjoyed Dragon Reborn, which was the third installment of the Wheel of Time, the most, because I thought that really developed Rand's story arc pretty well. I mean, obviously, I don't know what's gonna happen next. I don't know if it's gonna get better or worse, but I think Dragon Reborn so far in that series is like the favorite. And then reading Shadow Rising, it just didn't click with me as much. Then I actually reread the final installment in the original Percy Jackson series, which is The Last Olympian. I have been rereading this series for like 3 years because I'll like get on this high of rereading these books and then I just get into the worst reading slump of my life. So it's taken me a while. It's definitely not Percy Jackson's fault. It's the ones that embraced Percy Jackson while I was, you know, reading other things. They kind of overshadowed my joy of Percy Jackson. So I reread The Last Olympian, and I mean, it's a great finale for the Percy Jackson series as a whole. It's still, I don't know why, but the first one just hits for me so much more than all of the other series, which is like the wildest thing to say, I feel like, for any series. And The Last Olympian is still a 4-star read for me. I really enjoyed rereading it. I really enjoyed it when I was a kid. That one for me is hands down great read, great read. I feel like the Percy Jackson series is phenomenal throughout. But my joy of first reading Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, the OG, the original, it's just a 5-star experience for me. That can't be beat by anything else in the series. So, but now that I've finally finished rereading the original Percy Jackson series, I want to get to the new one, Chalice of the Gods. I really want to get to that one because the second one is out too. You know. Next one I read was Shakespeare. I read Much Ado About Nothing, and I think this is like the most middle of the road Shakespeare for me too. I don't really like the play all that much. It's not like the most thrilling, most exciting of Shakespeare's that I've ever experienced in my life. And I mean, reading it is pretty much the exact same experience too. I think I gave it a 3. It just, again, kind of middle of the road for me. I don't really have many thoughts about it. It's just, it's there. And it kind of is what it is. My next one was another manga read. This one is Sailor Moon. I am reading the Pretty Guardian series, the original, not the newer, is it called Silver Crystal series? Something like that. I'm reading like the original mangas. I just like that art style a whole lot more. Sailor Moon is cheesy. It's so cheesy. Honestly, the storyline, the plot, the magic system makes almost no sense to me, but it's so cute. It's so nostalgic. It's so sweet. It's so nice. I love Sailor Moon. I love the 90s Sailor Moon. It's not highly rated as a manga for me. I don't think I'll ever like stop reading the original series. I really want to continue reading and collecting all of the original books. So Sailor Moon 3 was a 3-star rating for me. Definitely on the lower end of that 3-star rating. Nevertheless, that's just pure nostalgia that I really like. I get that fuzzy feeling of like, oh, I really like this. It's really fun. It's really sweet. Very cute. I told you we were coming back to her, Jujutsu Kaisen 0. This was just a prequel to the main series. It's about this other high school sorcerer they come across before Itadori came in. He has this curse attached to him and they're figuring out what to do. And it's just like a fun little like veering off into a different direction because I almost wasn't going to read it until I like finished the main series, but then I like looked on Reddit and they were like, oh, it doesn't spoil anything. So I read it. It was good. It's kind of like an OVA, but like serious. Because I feel like OVAs are always like crazy. The craziest things that you would see characters doing in the wildest settings. If you like Jujutsu Kaisen, it's good. This one was a 4-star. It wasn't nearly, I don't think it's as high. 0 is at the bottom of my Jujutsu Kaisen reading star ranking list out of all of the Jujutsu Kaisen entries. Still good nonetheless. Unfortunately, I also had my first DNF in like 10 years, which I was so disappointed. I really wanted to like this book. I'm so mad I didn't like it, but Soul Takes the Form of a Mortal Girl. It had such an interesting premise. I was really looking forward to reading this one. Very LGBTQAI+ forward. It's all about trans identity, and I thought that was going to be really interesting. I think technically it's also supposed to be an Orlando retelling, but basically Paul, shapeshifter, can change into a girl on a whim. It was such an interesting concept. I was really looking forward to reading it. It was on my TBR for so long, and I was like, oh yes, I'm finally gonna read it in March. I'm so excited. I'm so disappointed. The first sentence was really interesting. I really enjoyed the metaphors and prose of the first couple of pages, and then it kept going, and then it dragged on, and then there was no end in sight, and I wasn't that big of a fan. It just became so filler heavy for me. There was no reason for some scenes, there was no reason for some words and sentences, and then you would get this little nugget of something's happening, and then it would be we're not touching that again. I DNF'd it at, I think, 43%. I was almost at the 50% mark, and I just kept telling myself, I'll get through this chapter, and if I still don't like it, I'll put it down. It'll be a DNF. But then I couldn't even get myself to do that. I think I've also seen the author said that they just wanted to kind of write about these characters and not really develop any sort of plot or character development, which can work when you're introducing some things in the background and you have those snippets of 2 pages and then it's done, and then you just have filler, and then it's another little plot and 2 or 3 pages of it again, and then back to filler for 50 plus pages. It seemed like such an interesting concept. I was starting to really like where it was going, and then it just went back to filler, and so unfortunately it was a DNF. And my last read, that was Wuthering Heights. I finally got around to reading it. It was a classic that I've been wanting to read for a very, very long time. I have to thank Jack Edwards' Inklings book club that I'm somewhat a part of, but not really. I just kind of become a voyeur and watch from the sidelines and never participate or contribute. I have that to thank, and unfortunately I kind of have the film adaptation to thank, because I hated the director's Emerald Fennell. I hated her answers to interview questions about why Heathcliff is white. So out of spite, I read Wuthering Heights. Now, this is absolutely a classic. I think everyone should read. It can be pretty difficult to get through. That's why it took me so long. Really enjoyed it. It was a 4-star read for me, and on the higher end of that spectrum. A 4-star read. Honestly, I might even change it to a 4.5. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I think it was a 4.5. I don't think it was a perfect book for me, but it was really, really good. A very interesting thing to write about too in that day and age, which I think is very, very cool. Again, there's no debate. Heathcliff is not white. He is a dark-skinned person. He is a colored person. They literally call him a slur throughout the entire book, but also within the first 5 pages. And I think that plays into the entire plot of the story. So casting Jacob Elordi to play Heathcliff is just bonkers. I think a lot of people do agree that Heathcliff and Catherine don't get together. Well, first of all, because it's horribly toxic. They are horribly toxic to each other, but because of Heathcliff's skin color. And because of that day and age, he is canonically grows up poor because of his skin color, cannot get these opportunities the way that the other people in this story get. You're gonna get nowhere in life, sort of thing. But he works tirelessly to get to where he is now, I'm sure, and then just becomes so obsessed with Catherine, and obviously Catherine is coming back to him as a ghost. Taking the book, which was really well made, well written, really thought through, and you have the gall to cast Jacob Elordi as Heathcliff in our Lord and Savior's year of 2026. So I'm very judgmental about that. But in March, I read 12 books. 5 of them were all manga, but hey, if you don't count that, I think you're weird, because it is technically words. Anyways, thank you for watching my TED Talk. If you want to keep hearing me talk about books, rant about books, go on tangents about books, subscribe, like, comment, I don't know, I don't care. Do whatever you want, I guess. And yeah, I'll see you next time, next week. Maybe, hopefully, we'll see you. Bye.